Imagine if just 1 week from today, you could wake up with unshakable focus, emotional control, and peace of mind so strong that nothing, no argument, no setback, no chaos, could disturb it. Sounds impossible, right? But the ancient Stoics lived exactly like that. They didn't just survive the storms of life, they thrived in them. Today, we're unlocking 5 Stoic habits that can rewire your mind and transform your life in just 1 week. These aren't abstract philosophies. They're practical, daily habits used by Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus to build mental toughness, clarity, and inner calm. If you're serious about mastering your emotions and leveling up your mindset, stay until the end, because these habits will reshape how you think, act, and respond to everything. And if you want to keep growing stronger with every video, make sure to hit subscribe, because we're just getting started. Habit 1. Morning reflection. Control the day before it controls you. Most people wake up every morning as if life has pressed the play button before they're even ready. The alarm rings, the phone lights up, notifications flood in, and suddenly, they're reacting to the world instead of directing it. The Stoics believe this was one of the greatest mistakes a person could make. Because if you don't rule your morning, the world will rule your mind. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, began each day not with comfort, but with contemplation. He wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." But he didn't stop there. He reminded himself that the world would test him, that he would meet people who were meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. Why would an emperor, the most powerful man of his time, start his morning this way? Because Marcus knew that emotional control begins with mental preparation. Morning reflection is not about positive affirmations or forced optimism. It's about mental armor. Before stepping into the battlefield of life, you must remind yourself of what matters, what doesn't, and how you choose to respond. You can't control what happens today, but you can control how you meet it. Here's how you can apply this Stoic habit. When you wake up, resist the urge to reach for your phone. Sit quietly for just 5 minutes. Ask yourself, what challenges might I face today? How will I respond if someone disrespects me, disappoints me, or tests my patience? What virtues do I want to live by? Patience, courage, discipline, or kindness? This is how you start shaping your mindset before the world does. Because the truth is, most people are emotionally hijacked before breakfast. They check social media, compare their lives, read negative news, and their mood spirals downward. But not you. You start with reflection, with awareness, control, and intention. Imagine your mind as a fortress. Morning reflection is the gatekeeper. Without it, distractions and chaos rush in freely. But with it, you decide what enters your mental space. You become proactive instead of reactive. The Stoics didn't pray for an easy day. They prepared for a meaningful one. Marcus Aurelius faced wars, plagues, betrayal, and immense responsibility. Yet his writings remain some of the calmest, most grounded words ever written. Why? Because every morning he reminded himself of one truth. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Do this every morning for just 1 week. No phone, no noise, just quiet Stoic reflection. And you'll begin to notice the difference. You'll speak slower, react less, and carry yourself with calm power. The world won't rattle you so easily, because you've already faced it in your mind before it even arrived. That's Stoic mastery. Not controlling life, but controlling how you meet life. Habit 2. Voluntary discomfort. Train the mind, harden the will. The modern world teaches us to chase comfort, to find the softest bed, the easiest path, the quickest reward. But the Stoics believe the opposite. That comfort is a slow poison, and discomfort is the cure. Seneca once wrote, "Set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest fare and with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself, 'Is this the condition that I feared?'" This was not masochism. It was mental training. The Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort to remind themselves that they could survive and thrive without luxury. It was a way to test their inner strength before life forced them to. Because let's face it, life will throw discomfort your way. Rejection, failure, loss, struggle. And if you've never faced discomfort voluntarily, you'll crumble when it arrives unexpectedly. But when you choose discomfort on your own terms, when you deliberately put yourself in challenging situations, you build resilience that can't be taken from you. You stop fearing pain because you've already faced it and survived. Try this for 1 week. Take cold showers. Skip a meal. Leave your comfort zone daily. Speak up. Lift heavier. Walk farther. Rise earlier. Avoid luxuries you've grown dependent on. You'll notice something incredible. Your mind will rebel at first. It'll tell you, "Why are you doing this?" You don't have to. But by saying no to that voice, you reclaim power from it. You start to see that your comfort cravings control you more than you think. Marcus Aurelius ruled Rome, yet he slept on a simple bed and wore plain robes. He understood that comfort can dull ambition and weaken the will. Epictetus, born a slave, taught that the secret of freedom lies in self-discipline. No man is free who is not master of himself. Voluntary discomfort is how you build that mastery. In our modern world, comfort has become the new cage. We seek instant pleasure, scrolling, entertainment, fast food, luxury, but we pay for it with long-term weakness. Stoicism flips the script. Embrace temporary discomfort for permanent strength. Every time you choose the harder path, waking early instead of sleeping in, saving instead of spending, training instead of resting, you're rewiring your brain for resilience. You're teaching yourself that happiness isn't found in ease, it's found in endurance. By the end of 1 week of voluntary discomfort, you'll begin to see yourself differently. You'll realize that you don't need as much as you thought, that you're stronger than your cravings, that when things go wrong, you can adapt. You'll stop saying, "I can't handle this," because you'll know you can. That's the Stoic warrior's secret. Freedom through self-control. Habit 3. Evening self-examination. Mastery through reflection. The Stoics believed that wisdom wasn't something you found. It was something you built, day by day, through reflection. Seneca, in his writings, described a nightly ritual he never skipped. Before going to bed, he would ask himself 3 questions. What bad habit have I cured today? What fault have I resisted? In what way am I better? This simple practice transformed his days into lessons, his mistakes into teachers. Because reflection is how the Stoic turns experience into wisdom. Every day, you encounter challenges, anger, impatience, distraction, temptation. But if you never stop to examine how you handled them, you repeat them unconsciously. Reflection gives you awareness, and awareness gives you power. Imagine ending each night by sitting quietly, no phone, no noise, and replaying your day like a movie. Where did I act according to my values? Where did I lose control? Did I live with purpose, or did I drift? This habit trains your mind to become your own guide. You stop needing motivation from others because you hold yourself accountable. Seneca said, "The unexamined life is not worth living, not because it's meaningless, but because without reflection, we sleepwalk through life. We repeat patterns that destroy our peace." Evening examination breaks that cycle. This is not about guilt or perfection. It's about growth. You might notice how easily anger overtakes you, how often you procrastinate, or how much you seek validation. And that's okay, because noticing is the first step to mastering. When you reflect, You teach your subconscious to correct itself. You start catching your reactions earlier, choosing patience over frustration, silence over anger, focus over distraction. 1 week of nightly reflection can bring more change than months of unintentional living. The Stoics didn't have therapy apps or podcasts. They had inner honesty. Every night was a conversation between their mind and their soul. They didn't run from their flaws. They faced them with courage. By the end of each reflection, forgive yourself and plan better for tomorrow. That's how you grow. Not through perfection, but persistence. Remember this. Mastery isn't built in the gym, the battlefield, or the classroom. It's built in silence, when no one is watching, when you sit with yourself and ask, "Did I live well today?" The one who reflects is the one who evolves. And that's why every Stoic ends their day not with noise, but with peace. Habit 4. Focus only on what you can control, the Stoic superpower. Every single day, millions of people waste their peace on things they can never change. Traffic, rude people, delayed plans, unfair bosses, lost opportunities. We get angry, anxious, and exhausted fighting invisible enemies. But the Stoics discovered something profound. The most powerful form of control is knowing what not to control. Epictetus, a man born into slavery, said it best. Some things are up to us, and some are not. That's it. That's the line between chaos and calm, between peace and suffering, between living freely and being mentally enslaved by everything you can't fix. The Stoics called this understanding the dichotomy of control. It's simple but life-changing. You control your thoughts, choices, and actions. You do not control outcomes, opinions, or external events. When you waste energy trying to control the uncontrollable, you burn yourself out. But when you focus only on what you can command, your attitude, your effort, your discipline, life becomes infinitely lighter. Think about it. When someone insults you, you can't control their words, but you can control your reaction. When your business fails, you can't change the past, but you can control your next move. When life throws chaos at you, you can't stop it, but you can decide not to let it break your inner peace. Marcus Aurelius lived this truth every single day. Despite being emperor of Rome, he couldn't control the plagues, wars, or betrayals around him. Yet his journal, Meditations, is filled not with anger or self-pity, but with calm reflections. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In the modern world, most people invert this principle. They obsess over what's out of their control and ignore what's within. They complain about politics but don't improve themselves. They argue online but don't control their emotions. They worry about others' opinions but don't control their self-image. You can reclaim that power by applying this rule daily. Whenever you feel anger, stress, or worry, pause and ask, backhand index pointing right, is this within my control or not? If it isn't, drop it. If it is, act on it. This habit rewires your mind from victimhood to victory. You stop reacting to life and start directing it. You stop drowning in what-ifs and start swimming in what can be. Try it for 1 week. When plans fail, don't complain, adapt. When someone wrongs you, don't retaliate. Rise above it. When the future scares you, don't overthink, prepare. That's Stoic focus in action. And here's the beauty. The more you practice this, the stronger your inner calm becomes. You'll feel yourself growing lighter, like shedding invisible chains. Suddenly, the noise of the world fades, and what remains is a stillness, your own peace. You'll stop seeking control over others because you've mastered control over yourself. Remember, peace doesn't come from controlling everything around you. It comes from mastering everything within you. That's not weakness. That's supreme strength, the kind Marcus Aurelius carried through empires, and the kind you can carry through your own storms. Habit 5. Practice negative visualization. Gratitude through the power of loss. At first glance, this Stoic habit sounds dark. Negative visualization? Why would anyone want to imagine losing the things they love? But this practice isn't about sadness. It's about awakening. It's about realizing how rich you already are before life forces you to see it. The Stoics called this premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. They would mentally rehearse worst-case scenarios, not to suffer them twice, but to prepare their minds and strengthen their gratitude. Seneca wrote, "He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand." Marcus Aurelius took this even deeper. He wrote, "Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now, take what's left and live it properly." For most people, gratitude is shallow. They only feel it when things go well. But Stoic gratitude is built on perspective. It's understanding that every moment, every person, every breath is borrowed time. Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is truly yours. When you accept that, every simple thing becomes sacred. Try this exercise. Before bed, close your eyes and imagine life without one thing you currently take for granted. Your health, your sight, your loved ones, your freedom, your bed, even the ability to breathe. Now open your eyes and realize you still have them. You've been blessed the entire time. You just forgot to notice. Negative visualization kills entitlement and awakens appreciation. It humbles your ego and expands your gratitude. It teaches you that happiness isn't found in getting more. It's found in valuing what you already have. Let's say you're stuck in traffic, frustrated. A Stoic would think, what if this were my last drive? Would I still be angry? Suddenly, the irritation melts away. Or when you lose a job, instead of panicking, think, what can I learn from this? What new opportunity can I now see? The Stoic doesn't resist pain. They reshape it into power. In modern life, we're constantly comparing to others' success, beauty, wealth. But negative visualization resets your perspective. You stop craving what others have and start cherishing what you possess. It's not about thinking darkly. It's about seeing clearly. Seneca advised his students to occasionally live as if they had lost everything, to wear simple clothes, eat plain food, and remind themselves, is this what I feared? The point wasn't to suffer, but to remember that your happiness doesn't depend on things. It depends on your mindset. When you adopt this habit for even a week, your energy changes. You stop being reactive and start being grateful. You find joy in simplicity, strength in struggle, and peace in the present. Because the truth is, loss gives meaning to life. You love because it can be lost. You care because it can end. You live deeply because time is running out. That's what the Stoics understood better than anyone. That the awareness of mortality is not morbid, it's motivating. When you practice negative visualization, you're not becoming pessimistic. You're becoming awake. And when you're awake, every ordinary moment feels extraordinary. The morning sunlight, a quiet walk, a simple meal. They become reminders that you've already won the greatest gift, life itself. So tonight, before you sleep, think of what you have, and realize how priceless it already is. That's the Stoic secret to happiness. Not more, but enough.